Hello, it's been a while since I checked in. We are about to get to Victoria, BC in Canada. It's a late port, so we're coming in at 3 and we have to be back on the ship at like 11:30 p.m. I don't think I'll make it till 11:30 p.m., but we will see. And if you're new here, I'm Ashley and I make travel and lifestyle content with my husband Dustin. This is the view of Victoria from the cruise ship. Since we were going from San Francisco to Alaska, we had to stop in another country for maritime laws. So we got to go to Victoria, and it was just a beautiful day to be there, and I was excited because this is our first time in Canada. We had no real plans or excursions for this port stop since it was later in the day and late in our trip. If I had known they had horse carriages, I would have booked that though. That looks really cool. So if you want to book that in advance, because they were sold out that day. And then we ended up just taking a taxi over to Chinatown, which was, I think, the furthest out we wanted to go. So we figured we'd take a taxi there and work our way back. Our taxi driver was so unpleasant. It was not the best intro into the city, but I'm sure there's plenty of other ones that are lovely. And I was recording some sights from the taxi as we drove by. Here we are in Chinatown, and for some reason, even though our taxi driver was so unpleasant, we took his recommendation of a restaurant to go to. This Chinatown is the oldest in Canada and the second oldest in North America after the Chinatown in San Francisco. So I definitely wanted to come and see it and experience the culture. They did have a lot of other businesses in Chinatown, however, which was different for me. I don't think I've been to San Francisco in a while, but I don't remember that. We first stopped off for some food at the restaurant that our cab driver had recommended. This is the Ocean Garden restaurant, and honestly, it was okay. If I had to do it again, I wouldn't have. And we also were like entirely too hungry and we ate too much, and I regret that because I wish we had left room to eat other things from other places. We got a like stir-fried noodle and then some kung pao chicken. The kung pao chicken was good, but the stir-fried noodle was okay. Now, this port again is later on in the day, so things did start to close in Chinatown. Like, we tried to go for a boba tea, however, the shop was going to close in like 30 to 40 minutes, and there was a huge line. So I think we definitely ended up leaving and not even ordering because we figured by the time we got to the front, they might be closed. And here's what I was talking about other businesses. They had a Mexican restaurant in the Chinatown, and I don't recall that from like San Francisco Chinatown or San Francisco Japantown. I mean, sometimes there's other Asian restaurants, but I don't know. It was interesting, and of course, like, very cool to see every different business. We did do some shopping for souvenirs for our kids, and this is the bubble tea shop we tried to go to, and it looked really cute and interesting, but like I said, we didn't end up going there, and we went across the street to a shop that had jelly cats. That was super cute. And then we went to this alley that is the narrowest street in Canada or something like that, and it just is like 3 feet wide, and a lot of people come here for some reason, but they do have like shops and stuff in there as well. After Chinatown, we started heading towards the Empress Hotel, which is like a famous hotel with beautiful gardens and stuff. This was like a really cute, like French looking street, so we filmed it. And then there was a guy playing music, which was very cool. On our way to the Empress, we did accidentally fall into a bookstore. Just kidding. We went into the bookstore and it was so nice. This is Monroe's Books. And in case you were wondering, all of the places we visited will be listed down below. They are in every single video, but I constantly forget to say that. I had picked out this book, but then I saw a new release book that I wanted, so I put that book back and then got the new release book instead. So here we are at the Empress Hotel, which is absolutely stunning. The architecture is gorgeous and they have really beautiful gardens. And I did pop around and say, oh, I have this in Animal Crossing. Sorry. That's where I've mostly seen flowers and bugs and all sorts of things. Anyhow, this hotel is famous as it opened in 1908, and it is a place where Shirley Temple, the actress, stayed with her parents. They have restaurants in here and a place that does afternoon tea. Another funny story, we accidentally went to the wrong floor. We were looking for this atrium with the shops, and we accidentally went into the wrong floor, and there was a person there. Like, what room are you in? And we're like, oh, no, we wanted to go to the shops. Unfortunately, the shops were mostly closed since it was probably around 5 p.m. or so on a weekday when we got there. But we were able to walk around and see their gardens and some of the architecture, and it was very beautiful. Probably having tea here would be nice, but I don't know, seeing the outside, looking at all the flowers was also very nice. But if that's not for you, I completely understand. However, if you've watched any of my vlogs before, you know that I love a flower garden. So this garden was just right off the street, free to see, and oh, the tulips were absolutely stunning. One thing I also wanted to do while we were in Victoria was take a water taxi, because the idea sounds so cool to me, and it's not that expensive either, as a form of transportation, but also like as an interesting, cool thing to do. And the water taxi people were so delightful. We went to a little kiosk that was right across the street from the Empress Hotel to buy our taxi tickets, and they called the cab over. They were also dropping off customers as well. This is what I imagine most taxi places are like, where some are going one way, some are going the other way, and you just hop on the correct one, or like a bus. I really liked that the seating area had windows so you could see out on to the water. I love seeing a city from the water. I think it's really special. It gives you a different perspective. Highly recommend it, especially if you're ever in Seattle. You have to see that skyline from the water. It is something else. But Victoria was so beautiful, and we don't really have water taxis where I'm from, the Sacramento area in California. So it was a really fun and unique experience. We also got to see a seaplane land, which was very cool, because I don't know that I have ever seen a seaplane land before in my life. So that was a great experience as well. Just, it's so cool. It's so cool to see things that are different, that different towns have to offer that your town might not. That's why we travel, right? We took our sea taxi over to the Fisherman's Wharf area where they dropped us off, and we walked around there. right off the Fisherman's Wharf were this row of colorful homes. They're so beautiful and well decorated, but you do need to be mindful because people do live in them. And then the Fisherman's Wharf itself was mostly just restaurants. So we walked through and took a peek and saw the water views from there. And then we headed back to the boat. I think if we were more pub type people, we could have stayed out longer, but we aren't really, so we went back. I do regret not going to get poutine though, so we'll definitely have to go back to Canada and figure that out.
Thank you for watching this vlog. We hope you enjoyed it. If you'd like to follow me on a social media, I'll pop that right here for you. And be sure to watch all of the videos in our Alaska series. Subscribe so you don't miss any of them. And we'll see you in the next one. Bye!